I'm getting the hang of this camera thing. If you notice in some of my videos, like I'm all orange, like my skin's all orange, or like I'm blurry, or I just thought I could turn the camera on and it would like automatically do all this stuff for me. It turns out that's not the case, and you have to learn how to use your camera. Let's get started, you guys. Welcome back. Today I wanted to share some tips on how to increase your self-worth. We all struggle with it. Every woman on the planet has self-worth issues, whether they be very large or very small, very minimal. We've all got them. So I wanted to go, as always, I go right to the root of what the issue is, and that's really the only and best way for you to heal, is not try to address the symptoms, but let's look at like what's at the root of this issue. So if we're talking about self-worth, every woman has attached our self-worth to something. So the first step that you want to do is to acknowledge or identify what you attach your self-worth to. For instance, I am a doer. I am an achiever. I am an overachiever. I am a perfectionist. So my self-worth, which is definitely tied back into childhood, but I attach my self-worth to my achievements, what I have produced, what I have done. So the things that I have actually achieved or accomplished, my self-worth is attached to. And in a way that is wonderful. And in another way that is devastating, because I'm gonna pause there because we're gonna get to that in the second piece. So I'm not gonna quite talk about the because yet, but it's great and also devastating because my worth is attached to what I do. So let's say I have a moment of not doing, like rest, relaxation, sleeping, like all of this. In my mind, I had attached to laziness. If I see somebody that's like not doing 24 hours a day, if you're not hustling, if you're not working towards your goal in some way, like you're lazy. That's ludicrous, right? But that's what I see through my mental paradigm that I had set up with, because worth is so closely tied to what I accomplish. So when I view that in others, it's what I feel about myself, right? I can't be doing nothing because I equate that to laziness, and laziness is just not okay. The fact that that is all false and not even truth is my own stuff to work out, but that's a great example of what I'm talking about, of what your self-worth is tied to. For other women, it is tied to their relationships, what they provide, how they provide. So whether you're a mother, you're a caregiver, you're a teacher, you're that loyal best friend who everybody calls when they need something, your self-worth is actually tied to what you give to others. So not necessarily the doing, the achieving part like me, but are you always there for your friends? Are you giving 110%? Are you always calling them to see how they're doing? Are you making lunch? Are you bringing over? Are you picking up their kids from school? Are you on the PTA? All of that, the giving. Your worth is dependent upon how much you are giving in your relationships and how much you are caring for and nurturing others. That is another form of where a lot of women tend to source their self-worth from, is the giving and taking care of other people, especially in a familial sense, in a younger generation, in addition to their peers. So identify if that is you. Another example is the woman and her body, the femme fatale, the knockout, the sexy hot woman that we see in every story ever told. But this woman identifies herself with her body, with her physique. So there is an intense fear of her body changing in any way, especially getting fat, getting soft, getting lumpy, getting larger, all of that. So her self-worth is so intrinsically tied to the look and shape of her body that it would be absolutely devastating to her and her sense of self-worth and power if her body were to change in any sort of way. And if you find that this is you, I have a wonderful video about having an intense fear of getting fat or gaining weight. You can check that out here. But these women are so connected to their body in a sense that that is their self-worth. The shape and look of the body and the attention that they get from this beautiful physique that they have is equal to their self-worth. So if the body changes in any form, their self-worth is in jeopardy. That is another archetype that women tend to source their self-worth from. That is a total tongue twister. Source their self-worth from. Here we go. So that gives you 3 ideas that you can explore on where you source your self-worth from. It could be anything really. These are just 3 archetypes, 3 examples that I wanted to share with you. But the idea here, after you identify, which is a really key step, you can start to dismantle it. And that's really the idea of why you want to identify it, is because you want to dismantle it. This is the second part that I was just going to talk about, because none of it is true. None of where you source your self-worth from is actually true. It's not relevant. It's not true at all. It's just patterning that we learned when we came into this world, depending on our personality, our environment, our familial structure, dependent on how we reacted and how we connected the dots on how we could feel worthy. But it's bullshit. All of it. I am no less valuable if I do something or not do something. You are no less valuable if your body is a size 2 or if you are a size 12. You are no less valuable if you are caring for somebody or you are not. Period. Your value, and this is the key here, ladies, your value, your worth is not dependent and not connected to any of these things in any such ways. This is just thought patternings that you learned. They are not true. The same way if you were to learn something that is a lie. This is basically what this is. It's a total falsity. It's an absolute lie. You are not what you produce. You are not what you are giving. You are not what you are doing. We're gonna backtrack. You are, upon entrance into this world, valuable and important. Your value is not dependent upon anything. It's just as an infant, as a toddler, you learned by the people around you, your environment, society, culture taught you what is valuable about yourself based on what they want. Not even you. It's based on what other people thought. So you are walking around connecting your self-worth and your value into what somebody told you is important. Bullshit. It's all bullshit, right? They don't even know what the hell they were doing anyway. So to bring it back, you came in here to this world valuable. You are worthy because you exist. And this is the key to increasing your self-worth. You can try the other tips and you can try the other things that are out there, but as always, I am all about the root. So if you want to really increase your self-worth, honey, can you go in the bedroom and get off the phone? So if you really want to increase your self-worth, I lost my train of thought. My husband came home and fuck. So if you're really looking to increase your self-worth, you don't want to put band-aids on the symptoms. You don't want to change the things around you. You don't want to try to change your body and do, I can't even say that. If you want to do that, that's great, right? But if you can heal the root, if you can heal what is the core cause of what's causing this, everything else just naturally balances itself out. We're always looking for self-correction. The body is always trying to come into balance. So if you can discover where you have learned to source your self-worth from and dismantle that, really just kind of pick it apart. I have come to see that my actions, my accomplishments, my achievements are great and they're to be celebrated, but however, I have been able to disconnect. My value and my worth are not connected to those things. They're just things I've achieved, but they are not a reflection or a connection or a dependency upon my value as a person, as a spirit, as a soul, as a teacher, as a mentor. It has nothing to do with each other. It's just something I created in this world. So dismantling what you've come to learn where your beliefs from is key. And then the second piece is reconnecting and remembering where you came from, who you are, and your true source. I have a wonderful video on why every woman must have a spiritual practice. You can check it out here. It has some of the same similar ties about we need to come back and connect to our source, which is spirit, which is essence. It is not this 3D plane of what car I drive and the job I have and the role I'm playing in this lifetime. It's not, but we tend to get lost in that. So it's very important for us to come back and connect to who we are spiritually at a soul essence, and that is love, that is truth, that is unity, that is all-encompassing. That is who we really are. So your self-worth is not dependent on any of these 3D things that we have come to believe. Your self-worth is not even in question ever. Like, it is just permanent. Because you be, because you exist, because you are here, you are worthy. Like, that's the equation. You exist equals you're worthy. And if there is ever a point where you come across where you don't exist, then you can have the conversation about worthiness. But I don't think that's an issue, because you will always exist in some shape or form. It's just we got lost, really. We got taught by some confused humans on what worth is, if you're the track star or if you get all A's or whatever. But again, it's all BS. It's not true. It's a falsity. The people in our lives taught us what they thought was important, right? These things are important, and if I can teach my children to be these things or reach for these things, then they will be important, or they will be seen as important in this 3D world, when in fact, that's not the case. You are worthy because you exist, period. So if you dismantle where you source your self-worth from, in addition to increasing your connection to spirit and remembering where you're really from and who you really are, you will come to disconnect the person and the actions and the things that you do in this world and your worthiness and your power. They both exist within you, but they're not dependent upon each other. And that's the disconnection that we're doing. You can care for whoever you want, and you can have a sexy body, and you can achieve all of these things, and that's amazing. But it will never be the source or alter your worth, because you are worthy because you exist. I hope that makes sense. It is very important for these two steps to happen. Dismantle the bullshit, and then really start to connect and remember through meditation, through walking, through yoga, whatever your spiritual practice is, every day, come back to center, come back to source, and remember, I'm not this world. I'm not my body. I'm not my mind. I'm not my achievements. I am so much more than that. I am so much greater than that. And that's where my worth comes. My worth is because I be, it's because I am. I am worthy, period. Just because. There is no anything after. You guys, give me a comment below. Let me know your favorite part of this video. Let me know where you source your worth from. Like I said, I'm a total overdoer. Still am. As always, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, give me a likes, and I will see you next week, ladies. Love you. I always do this in the beginning of the video too. I get all like settled. I like to be British sometimes. I do have British heritage, so it's kind of easy for me to tap into that. I think because it's, you know, runs in my bloodline, like it's in my DNA, so I can pull on that like Irish, English bloodline that lives in me. Anywho.